Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. My name is Layla and I am the owner of Divas & Co. Today I wanted to kind of share with you guys my journey of entrepreneurship, if that makes any sense. I don't even know why I'm trying to talk so proper, but this is just my experience as being an entrepreneur for about what I would like to say is 10 years, I think. And you guys, it has been a fucking journey. Like, I have to say, it's been a fucking journey. I started with my sister. We decided to start our own skincare using this green organic face mask from our culture. And that's kind of where we started. We pretty much started our own little company. And that didn't really last because we were so new. We didn't even know what was going on for most parts. So it was kind of like a venture. We just wanted to see where we would go. And then after that, we decided to invest in some lights, cell phone lights. Is that what it's called? The little lights that you clip on lights that you use for your content, and also hair. And this is around the time we discovered about the drop shipping. So, or was it FBA? I think it was FBA. That's the fulfillment centers that, like you ship it over to Amazon and you make a certain amount of money. So yeah, so we started there, and then we kind of ventured off into our own separate things. So I continued to be an entrepreneur, and she kind of just went into her own thing. So then I moved to Toronto, and because I'm originally from Ottawa, so I moved to Toronto, and that's when I was like, okay, I need to make some money. So I put my cleaning experiences online, and I've gotten a lot of people calling me, or I mean, sorry to say, texting, letting me know like, hey, are you available to clean? And they were okay with my prices, and my prices were like somewhere, I don't remember honestly, but it was like about $150 a day. So they were like okay with it, and it was a very easy start because you just need cleaning supplies, and most of the time people would just like provide like the mops and the vacuums and stuff like that, but I would just kind of bring my own cleaning stuff. But overall, very easy, good money. I was probably getting clients like 3 to 4 times a week. And I also did some makeup artistry on the side because I was a new mom at the time and I needed some flexibility with my life. And Toronto is huge. So if you know Toronto, Toronto's huge. So anyways, so I kind of stopped doing that and moved back to Ottawa, where I pretty much stayed and resided. And then what happened was I got into like the beauty space, and I was doing a lot of makeup stuff, and then I decided to launch my own lashes. And with that came a lot of like not understanding how marketing worked, pictures, so many things. I was so new at it that I didn't even know what I was doing. I just bought a bunch of lashes and hoped to put it online and people would just buy it. And man, was I wrong, because nobody knew who I was, even as a makeup artist. So my platform, although I wasn't that, like, I didn't have a small, like, actually I had a small following. I didn't have a big following. But for me, I was like, it doesn't matter if I don't have a big following. I can always sell my products and people can get to know me through that and my business. So, life happens and you kind of just get lost in the sauce of life, basically. And I wasn't as active online as I wanted to be, and that seems to be the habit in the story, that I'm not consistent. So what did happen though is that in real life, my sisters actually ended up wearing some of my lashes, and a lot of their friends liked them. So I ended up selling a lot of the lashes through my sisters and getting like their friends to buy it and stuff. So people were buying like 2 to 3 lashes, or 4 to 5, like, like just asking, like, give me all the different ones. So yeah, it was pretty good. Then went through some hardship at one point with finances, and I noticed that my finances were all over the place. So that's when I discovered the budgeting community. So I went from the beauty community to the budgeting community, and there was just something so nice about the budgeting community that was just a breath of fresh air, to be honest. I love beauty and I love the skill set, but to be honest, to be in that space was kind of toxic at the time. And this is when all those drama channels were making, like all those videos. And it's just like, it pretty much, the beauty space has kind of shifted to one side rather than, really concentrate on the artistry or the techniques or the teachings. So a lot of the content creators that were kind of doing all that stuff were not getting like, nobody was paying attention to them. Everyone wanted to be all over those content creators that were making the drama. So with me, I kind of was like, okay, to be honest, and one thing I've noticed is when I was in the beauty space and doing reviews, I was spending a lot of money. Like, I was spending so much money that till this day I wonder how I was even able to keep up with it. And the reason being is I was able to keep up with it because I went into debt, like some serious debt. So one of the things I was trying to figure out one day, I was like, oh my God, how do I get myself out of debt? How do I learn something? I need financial literacy at this point. And at this time, I was like 2 kids deep. So I was like, okay, I need to learn some financial literacy. I need to understand how money works. I need to understand how savings work. I need to understand budgeting. And then I came across a few videos of these ladies talking about cash stuffing, and I was like, what is cash stuffing? So I kind of like intrigued by it. I was like, okay, this is kind of nice. And one thing that appealed to me was the fact that they were just using cash. It wasn't so much about all the pretty envelopes. That's later on. I got into that later on. But in the beginning, I just wanted to learn what all these terms were, like sinking funds. To be honest, I was such a newbie. I didn't even know what a sinking fund was. I didn't know what a high priorities fund was. I didn't know what a low priority. I was just kind of like, okay, so you know what? Let me learn. So I learned so much. I went into every financial channel I can find that will let me understand how everything worked, even how debt works. You guys, I didn't even know how debt worked. I kept asking myself, how am I still in debt? I'm making payments and all this stuff, but still my balances just keep going up, keep going up. It's the interest. I wasn't paying attention to the interest. And if you guys hear snoring, it's my little girl. She sleeps in my room, so yeah, she's quite a snorer at night. But yeah, and I was just kind of like so like I was actually so interested to the point I was like, okay, let me try to do like every paycheck I get, let me figure out where, what, and how, like what's going on. So one of the places I noticed I spent a lot of money was groceries. I spent a lot of money on just frivolous things, and I was like, okay. And I did a lot of obviously food, like ordering out and stuff like that. I was like, okay, you know what, we need to stop this isn't a healthy habits. So what I did first was I really just started tracking, because a lot of the channels were saying start tracking your expenses, keep an eye on your bank account, learn your own habits. And that's exactly what I did. I learned my habits, and a lot of the times I was just very much triggered. And at the time I was in a very, 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 very toxic relationship with my children's father. And like when I say life was really bad, it was really, really bad, to the point where it was like, this guy was like financially shaming me for everything, telling me like I didn't know how to save, even though I was taking the time to learn. Instead of like being supportive, he was like going in on me like, you don't know what you're doing, you need to put this much money aside, you need to do this, you need to do that. But it's like, when you're trying to learn something and then someone is downing you and being very like criticizing you for what you're trying to learn, you just start to like get triggered by them. So of course I kind of spiraled down, because I was like, oh my God, I suck. I should be knowing this. So I spiraled down, and I obviously kept, like, I was pretty much trying to stay afloat, but it wasn't happening the way I wanted it to happen. So eventually we went our separate ways after 4 kids. Isn't that crazy? So we went our separate ways. And finally I am in a space where I'm like, oh my God, like I'm able to save. I'm able to understand my finances again. I had to reteach myself last year, basically. So along my journey of entrepreneurship, I came across Etsy, and I was like, you know what? Why don't I be an Etsy seller? And in the beginning, I didn't really think I was good at Etsy, because I was so intimidated by so many creatives that I was like, okay, like, I don't even know if I can do this. Like, this is such like a very intimidating platform. It's not like it is now. Like now it's like very like, I don't know, it's weird. When I first started, it wasn't so weird. It was very artistic and handmade and people's art, basically, So eventually I opened my shop, but I didn't do budgeting stuff. I was more on stickers. I don't know what it was. I was like, oh my God, stickers are so fun. And I've seen a lot of videos of people making money. So I wasn't really looking to start a sustainable business. I was just kind of looking to just make money straight up, you know? But then with Etsy, I learned that, hey, you can't just start and expect the people, like the customers, to come. You have to know your keywords, like what kind of keywords are people typing in. So I learned a little bit about that. And then of course photography, like I need my products to look appealing. I don't want them to look ugly, you know what I mean? And I want people to be like, hey, these look really nice. So another thing I did was I I took some really nice pictures. I researched a few photography lessons online, and to be honest, you guys, one thing I noticed is my camera photography sucked, but my iPhone camera, amazing. So don't underestimate your iPhone. And at the time, I was using an iPhone 13, so it was doing its thing. So yeah, I know I say a lot of ums, but it was just a whole new world for me. So when I got my first sale, I was so nervous that I wasn't doing anything right. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't even know how to price properly, you know? To the point when I first made my first sale, I only made about $3 because I underpriced so badly and that I didn't even know what I was doing. So as time progressed and as I started to, invest more time in, I started to learn how to take photography. I started to learn how to do keywords. I started to learn a little bit about SEO, and I also started to learn about just being more creative with my stuff. One thing is Etsy, everyone kind of copies everyone, but I was like, I don't want to copy anyone and I don't want anyone copying me, but I just tried my best. I mean, how many matte vellum envelopes can you look at, right? I'm pretty sure we all have the same type of technique or the same type of stuff. But overall for me, Etsy really just became a playground of knowledge. So I really just started to learn. I started to learn how to package better. I started to learn how to save money on shipping, because if you know Canada is very expensive. So I learned how to, even when I got my first order to the US, that was probably the most exciting thing ever, because it was like, oh my God, somebody from the US actually ordered my handmade envelopes. That is insane. So I absolutely loved it, and I really just started to immerse in it. But then eventually, Etsy kind of has its dark side, which is there's so much fees. And also I wasn't getting the star pick because I wasn't utilizing everything. So if you don't utilize the shipping, so a lot of the shipping in Canada I didn't utilize because I sent it by letter, which was a stamp. I did a stamp letter, an oversized letter mail, which is a lot more cheaper. And I said I don't care, because it just makes sense for me to pay that much, like $1.95, rather than paying $13 or losing money that way. So that was nice. I ended up learning how to do that. And to be honest, to sell to the US is a lot more cheaper than it is to Canada. So yeah, and then now I'm at this point in my life where I'm like, let me try Shopify again and see if I can build something with that, and kind of just share my journey with you guys and anybody who wants to learn about business in general. I feel like I do have a lot of knowledge. I will show you guys some of my photo techniques. I think a lot of the photos I really have fun with. SEOs, I can kind of teach you guys a little bit about that. Keywords. And I can actually I feel like I have so much knowledge. I feel like I need to share. I don't know. But yeah, overall, that's about it. And I hope you guys are enjoying the video. This is my first voiceover. I hope you guys don't think my voice sucks. I am trying my best. But yeah, this vlogging is a whole new level, especially showing behind the scenes. And I really want to grow my company, my small business. I really feel like I do have a lot to offer, and I don't want it to just be budgeting. I kind of want to do a lot of different things, And yeah, because I didn't just create this as a budgeting store, it was more of just everything. I kind of called it a cozy digitalista, if that makes any sense. I can't even say it because it was such a long time ago. But yeah, I just wanted to also welcome any new viewers to my channel. I hope you guys are enjoying. I am really trying my best, especially now that I have 4 kids. I am so outnumbered. It's not even funny. But yeah, overall, I have been enjoying this journey so much. it has been so fulfilling. And if you guys would like to know about side hustles that actually do work, I can definitely make a video about that. And I can also do a video on cash stuffing. I think I want to do how to like cash stuff videos like that. I think that'd be nice to show like what you need and how to do it. I'm actually at the beginning of my budgeting journey over again. I have to start all over again. And this year is going to be a little bit tough because my daughter needs braces and I need to come up with $2,000. No, no, it's fine. I can do that. I know where to cut and stuff like that, like where to get money out of, but still it's like life, you know? So overall, I am like I gotta get myself up there, you know. I gotta get myself organized with my money. I gotta get myself financially organized. And I love doing this. I love content creating. I think content creating for me is the new outlet because I've always been a very artistic person. I know everybody says that, but to be honest, this is the truth for me. I don't know how to express myself in any other way. One of my biggest ones is singing. I've always loved singing. I think singing for me is my outlet when, for me, singing is actually an outlet whenever my mood is down. So I always try to find a song that will bring me back up, or even if I can't bring myself back up, I want to find a song that actually relates to how I'm feeling at the time. So sometimes I will give in to that. But overall, music has always been my thing, you know. And you probably can hear it in my voice. A lot of people tell me I have a musician's voice. But yeah, like I don't really like do instruments, but I just love to play with my voice. Like I can go high, low, you know, like just kind of like that kind of stuff. Fun fact about me, once upon a time, I was actually asked to host a radio show or to audition, actually, no, to audition for a radio show. And I was like, really? Like, you guys think I should audition? And they're like, you know what? You've got a voice. You've got a radio station voice. And sad to say, I just couldn't do it because I was so scared. I was like, no, they're not going to like me. They're just talking. But the lady was actually from a radio station and she was like, you know what? I really want you to please audition for this. I really think it's going to change your life. And who knows? It would have probably changed my life if I had done it. But I was young and foolish at the time. But looking back, it would have been cool to actually try that out. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoy my channel. I am trying so much different stuff. I'm pouring a lot of my heart into it. And I'm trying to like, you know, really branch out there. And content creating is just so fun. And I have a lot of different cameras, which is crazy because I've invested a lot into my YouTube channel. And I feel like it's just right to just continuously like, you know, try to push my content out there, even if I don't get any views, even if I get 1 view or 0 views, I don't care. For me, it's just an outlet, and I want to just share this journey because I don't think anybody really shares the journey of starting something, but rather shares when they've made something, you know. And I think it's important for people to see how it really starts, like how much money you're pouring into it, how much sweat you're pouring into it, how much hours it takes to come up with a product, how much like times you have to switch it over, go back into a listing, you know, all those things. So for me, this is going to be very exciting, and I'm so excited to share this journey with you guys. So yeah, and now that I'm done talking, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Okay, bye bye.